Uh, so you can hear me, Principal sir? Principal sir, you can hear me? Principal
Yes,
sir?
I
Yes,
can
sir.
hear.
Okay, sir. So we can start with the webinar.
Yeah.
Okay, I would request everyone to please keep their videos and audios off. A very warm welcome to one and all in one-day national webinar on retailers' resiliency through COVID and beyond. I'm Ms. Shobna Rangwar, Head of the Commerce Department, Devkiba College. I would like to welcome our Honorable Chairman, Sir, Shri Fateh Singh Ji Chauhan, our Secretary, Shri Devdas Shah, our Treasurer, Shri Vishwesh Dave, all the respectful trust members, Principal Professor Dr. Ambadas Jadhav, our resource person, Shri Vijay Gantolia, and Ms. Nafseen Mistry, staff of Devkiba College, and all the respectful academicians, business entrepreneurs, and members attending the webinar today. Devkiba College was established in 2014 under the affiliation of Mumbai University with the basic aim of providing limitless opportunities to nurture the inherent qualities of each student. The college is run by Lions Club of Silvassa Charitable Trust, which is a non-profitable voluntary organization. Lions Club of Silvassa Charitable Trust is also running Lions English School affiliated to CBSE, having a strength of above 5,000 students. Currently, the college is running graduation courses in BCom, BMS, BSc, BSc BSc IT, and master's degree in commerce. The trust is also running law college that offers 4 years and 6 years degree courses in law. Now I would request Principal Sir to speak a few words. Principal Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Uh, I welcome all the participants and also thank our management council members for granting us permission to start this webinar. Our college is already introduced to you by the organizer. So her job is mine one now. I have to introduce what is the theme of the this one webinar. The friend, this webinar is on uh, retailers' resiliency through COVID-19 and beyond. Now, in fact, uh, whatever is happening today, it has a long-lasting impact. When I saw this resiliency word, I thought that what is this? Then it strikes to my mind, resiliency word we can use in our geography also, we use always in geography. For example, uh, one theory is there about the origin of the causes of the earthquake. In that one, we use rebound theory. In that rebound theory, there is a term resiliency. When the imbalance occurs, then it comes with old original original state. That is the resiliency. Now here, through the COVID and after the COVID, lot of aspects of the society or lot of what we can say that sectors of the economy and society are going to change. So basically here we have selected the theme retailers. How the retailers are going to adjust themselves during COVID and after COVID. Because most of the retailers are asked to close down or shut down their shops. So they are in a shocking mood. How to come to our original state, how to make profit, how to run the business. So we thought that let us have some kind of webinar so the retailers, what is the state of mind of the retailers during this COVID and after the COVID. So friends, we have an expert that he will be talking, they will be talking on the state of the mind of the retailers and how they are going to adjust. At present, they are adjusting, but this is not going to come to their original state. It will require about 2-3 years to come to the original state. So, what will be the, how they are going to adjust themselves with this situation our experts will be talking on that one, and then we will be inviting some questions and answers on this, so that we can have a very healthy and fruitful discussion. So once again, I thank our team, and I think about the college already we have introduced, and in between also if you have some question, see our this college is affiliated to University of Mumbai, and the thing is that we are catering to the students of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and DNH. Now, when the student of our DNH or Dadra and Nagar Haveli goes outside and takes admission there, okay. Now, during this panic situation, most of the parents wants that their children should come back and take the admission in our own town. So we have once this thing, because those who are studying outside our Dadra and Nagar Haveli, but their parents are residing in Dadra and Nagar Haveli, if they want to come back and study, our college is open. The doors of our college is open. We can admit them at first year, second year level. We can admit them at third year level. Suppose the student has completed first year in Gujarat, and if he wants to come to Silvassa, we can admit him in second year, provided he has cleared all the subjects. Suppose the student has taken admission in Mumbai, and if he wants to come here and take the admission, we can adjust them over here also. So friends, once again, you are welcome to our college and over to our technical team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Principal Sir. I want to request all the participants to please keep their audio and video off. Today, in the webinar, we shall be covering two important topics: impact of COVID-19 on retailers now, next, and beyond. And the second one is psychological impact of COVID-19 on the retailers. We have with us Dr. Vijay Gondolia, sir, who will be covering the first topic. Dr. Vijay Gondolia is an associate professor and head of B.V. Patel Institute of Management, Sadia University. He has been invited by many schools and colleges of Surat as a resource person in various academic events. He is an exceptional researcher in commerce and management and has written more than 25 research papers. Sir has done MBA, PGDRM, and has completed PhD in International Economics from VNSGU. Under his guidance, 3 students has completed PhD degree and 4 students are pursuing PhD. He is also a Tele certified trainer, Tele ACE. He has made number of initiatives for development of management program in his department, including introduction of new courses such as managing innovation, event management, critical thinking, etc. Dr. Vijay Gandolia is an editor of Global Journal of Research in Management and International Journal of Marketing and Financial Management and reviewer for International Journal of Sustainable Development and World Ecology. Now, I would request Dr. Vijay Gandolia to kindly take over.
उनका ऑन है चैट को बंद करो वीडियो बंद करो तो
Vijay sir, Gandolia sir, you can unmute yourself. Vijay sir, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, done. I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, yes, you are
I'm
audible.
audible.
You're audible, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. A very good morning, everybody. Uh, I'm Dr. Vijay. Going to be covered a few aspects about retailers in this COVID-19 pandemic era. Before I move to forward, I'll just thanks to every participants in these situations, learners for sparing the valuable time to learn new things in this particular era. So one of the biggest aspect in nowadays is a very essential to understand about the different situations on a point of time. As in the retailers, what are the different panic situations available with them nowadays due to the COVID-19? So I'm going to just thinks about how this pandemic situations affect the different segment of the society. So I'm going to cover about what is the impact of COVID-19 on retailers as on today, what can happen after, that is the next phase, and then beyond phase, that is after the down the line of 10 months or 1 years. Then so what the situations arises, but before that, what the biggest issues is that because of COVID-19 economies have slowed down, and in a lockdown period, biggest issue is survival issues. Are the people are survived? Yes, definitely people are survived, but with the certain compromises themselves, because of there are a lot of issues with the customers or consumers. At the same time, the same issues with the retailers also, even the businessmen also. Issues like uh, maybe the unavailability of the employees on time because of that restrictions by government, local movement by the government. People are health conscious, people are safety conscious, travel restrictions from one place to other place. After one of 1st June, it may be slowly started, but still people are facing the problem. And not only one industry, that is retail industries, are affected, but a number of industries are affected. Even the retail industry, travel industry, tourism industry, small business, a lot of people who are facing the problem. Only what the things available, essential commodities available, but certain non-essential commodities are not available, and people are also think about that. We can be, if we can manage with the non-essential commodity, we can be managed. So this is the mind of the people. So how the retailers can get the benefit. So retail industry is one of the largest employer of the country, and provides a large segment of the populations in terms of maybe in different areas of the retails. It can be essential commodity, it can be non-essential commodity, it can be on store, it can be delivery. So there are a lot of issues are there, and it's very sentimental issues with the social perspective. Because of that, people now, what the people have, one of the biggest factor is a fear factor. What is a fear factor is that suppose if I may go to purchase there, maybe I may get attached with some people who are positive, or I don't know whether they are positive or not. So there are a lot of ifs and buts in the mind of the people. So it is very important to understand about that, how the retail industry or how the retailers can manage all the pandemic situation as on today, after the end of the June, or after the end of the July, or maybe 15th of June, or later stage after the 6 month or 7 month, how the people can change the perspective, and how the impact on the retail industry are bigger concerns. So I'm going to cover the three important aspects in the retail industry: now, next, and beyond. In the now, that is what is immediate response of the people, in terms of that how the people respond to the situations on time. Then next, it can be maybe after 15 days, after the 20 days, after 30 days, the next phase comes. Because right now we are standing between now and next phase, because government has released some norms to move from one place to other place, to purchase some items, industries are open, retailers are open, stores are open, even in some places a small supermarket are also open. So in that situation, what can be the next session about with the help of digitalizations and how the people react on it. And then the beyond, we need to build up the new world without any hesitation. So it is very very essential for retailers to understand the phases from one phase to other phases by in the market. So first think about what is the now situations. Now we are all are equal at one point of time. Now under this particular issues in the situation, will retail companies be able to survive this shutdown? And if you see the after 23rd, before what the situation in the 20, before 23rd March or within 15 March, and what the situation today, and what the situation before 20 days, before 17th of May. There are a lot of issues comes only only kirana stores are available to provide essential commodities to the people. So sentiments to save the has always been higher than the spending that people at now people think about that if not necessary we cannot be purchased, even that sometimes the people also try to store the essential commodities, but nowadays that also people think about that it is available, why should I store, why should I spend unnecessary money, why should I waste the money, because maybe we don't know how long this situation is going to be. So people are think about in that aspect also. And currently we are in a phase that will try to be moved to the next phase, and next phase is a very critical phase. We are all witness that the last couple of days, last 1 week, the number of cases increases in the entire India is more than 7,000, more than 8,000 on an average. If you see the last couple of days, is in the 8,000, 9,000 cases in all over the India. So now in these situations, how the retailers can move, how the retailers can take the next step to open their shops or open the stores or open their malls. So how that can happen? What can the situation? So that can be big issues, and biggest questions arise is that how many companies actually survive after the downfall, that is after the next 6 months, next 5 to 6 months, how many companies survive, because there are a lot of big mall, their operating cost is very high, in terms of rent, in terms of electricity, in terms of storage, in terms of warehouses, in terms of fixed salary to the people. So cost is very very high. So what the people can do to survive in this, and even the employee, even that's why in the very initial talk I'd say retail industry is the largest employee provider industry in the cost is are also there. Second thing is that certain stocks are out, maybe the expired stock, because of last 3 months they are not able to clear the stock. So there are so many issues comes in front of us, in front of retailers. And maybe they can be do in the next step the retailers can do is that offer a discount, but whether the discount can lift in the lockdowns or whether the discount can survive, or discount can only be routine the operational cost, but what about the profit margin, what about the expired stock? So, and very essential challenge for the retailers is to gain customer confidence after lockdown. Very essential, because customers are very hesitant, customers are not satisfied, or customers maybe have a sentiments, because maybe in every maybe in the family they have maybe small children, maybe have a senior citizens. So people may think about that whether to purchase from that store or whether to purchase the small kirana. And definitely kirana will be survive because they are selling the essential commodities which is available on the corner of our residence. In the beyond, the government take some urgent different steps in terms of policies, in terms of exemption, in terms of financial support, in terms of other kind of support. It may be supports maybe in the various terms, in terms of electricity support, maybe in terms of rent support, in terms of transportation supports. And very important, we all are academicians and we are always taught to our students about that every crisis is opportunity for next things. So and nowadays people are also we also as an academician or as a teacher, we also try to think about that is it possible to learn online, but we are doing right now in terms of students assessment, in terms of getting the knowledge, providing the lectures on the through the internet, taking the different kinds of knowledge from the through the in front of technology. So every crisis have an opportunity. Similarly, the retail industry also have some kind of opportunities available so that people can be taking the correct step, or retailers can take up, but government play a vital role to develop such kind of the atmosphere in the country to save the this industry especially. So there are certain issues, the retailers issues arises for three phases: now, next, and beyond. If you observe in my slides, I have put the three different colors. Now is a red because right now we are in the red zone in terms of the pandemic situation, in terms of people are fear factors. Okay, what happened, what not happened, how it happened, everything. And the next situation is a next. I have put in the block letters as well in the blue colors. It suggests that we have, if we make some plan, we have make some kind of strategize, we can be survive, we can be in uplift for upliftment and beyond. That is, you see the style of written b is small, what happened we don't know, because it's opportunities, and it's also green signal that we can survive. If we survive two zones, then definitely we have a very good opportunities. But opportunities always painful, opportunities are required to do something new and very very essentials for taking the all the corrective steps by not only the government but the retailers, customers. That means all stakeholders. It can be a customers, it can be consumers, it can be retailers, it can be governments, it can be suppliers. Everybody's need to take some kind of the corrections. So there are six issues comes in the mind two issues in the retailers, that is management of workforce, well-being. Very very essential is that the retailers need to be understand prioritizing the health. Now is required to prioritizing the health. Second thing is very important thing is that planning long-term optimization payroll, that is need to be cut the cost, maybe in terms of bonus, in terms intensive incentives. How you can salary is available but pay and parks available to the employees maybe reduces by the retailers, because they need to be surviving the market, and if the retailers are survival, then the number of employment can be also be survived. And third, very very essential to manage the workforce and well-being of workforce is that to attract the talent. Now see, this is this I'm visualizing the after 1 year or down the line 1.5 years, talent will always survive. But the people who are not have talent, people who make kind of the excuse, they may have suffer a lot, because talent retailers are attract the tellers because talent, because retailers want to sell the product not only from their stores but on the web online market also. So the essential aspect for understanding of the retailers issues with the management of workforce, because not only the employees about to their well-being, but the customers also, safety measures also. If you see nowadays that if you enter in the particular shop, people are stand with the sanitizers, where stand they check their temperature, and then you are move inside the stores. So that is a safety measures, but again is part in the protections. So second very important issues, what I feel is protections, and that protections will create a value and maintain the market. So now what is the protections from the now side is social distancing standards, how you maintain the social distancing standards in terms of maybe that maybe as per the central government guidelines or respective state government guidelines or international guidelines, we can make a circles, we can make a different make a distance 6 feet or 2 meters. But are that how you manage if the store are very small, and if the social distancing you maintain, how the people can come to purchase? Because what our habit is, we are not wait, if we are not able to get here and we are taking too much time to purchase from the one stores, we move to next, that we do before, but now we are stand. So that is also a very important understanding aspect. Second, every stores, every retailers need to be maintain the or implementations or develop health and safety measures their own also, even the guidelines with the state government or central government, but still do measure. Now if you see, there are a number of stores including in the DMart, including in the big malls, including in our Surat, in the Dirasans. They are what that they are doing is that they're taking the care almost all care in terms of the payment. They ask to digital payment if it is possible. But what about the poor people? That is again the issues, how you maintain the safety measures. That is very essential, and that safety measures create a value for your stores. Because suppose in a store, if some employees may be a corona positive later stage, then again the corporations or a administrator of the particular districts or a particular place, they may come to and shut down your store. So that implementation of health and safety measures are also essential. If you maintain value and market will create. And third thing is that identifying and preparing for demand tail. Now see, understand this is very crucial aspect beyond after the 6 month and maybe in the or after the after the 9 months or 1 year. It is very essential for a company retail market that how you identify the requirement of the people, how you identify the these are the things is very demanding or sometimes you need to be, and that is again comes to pictures about a critical thinking, design thinking, empathize what you need to customers, provide them, don't go beyond that, don't make a kind of message, understand the requirement of the customers and you go beyond that. Then third is very other aspect that everybody are doing it, adoption of a new technology, adoption of technology. So now again, what is the situation? Cross-function team working in a one with different areas. But now we need to be in the next phase. We need to understand about digital security also, technological transfer also, because people don't have a trust on technology sometimes because fraud or cyber crime, that all issues. So again, the company retailers need to be maintained such kind of the aspect where they may be engaged with the particular kind of the issues in the market. So important aspect is that you need to be understanding the business, and in beyond phase you need to strengthen the business continuity with the proper planning, with the proper implementations. Again comes the aspect design thinking, digital critical thinking, innovations are only the way in and retailers are also moving the phase also. Nowadays there are number of people who are not in this segment, but they start to make a kind of the planning is the kind of the they are preparing some small box and delivering through the WhatsApp, through the Facebook, through other media. They can get a contact, get particular orders, and then can supply it. Suppose in case of the different country, they have started the vegetable fruits to supply that. Then government support. It is very essential. Essential is give the take a government support. Like what required is that if a quick response to government in a pandemic. If it is closed to close, if you open, you open. If you open in this hours, you can open in this hours. So this is a very essential to have a mental. Other aspect, important aspect is about effective selection of the schemes. What are the schemes available with the particular area, particular segment? To be a quick response, we will survive. Second, in the next phase, we will be abiding the long-term government safeguarding the directives. That is whatever the government provided planning, government provided directions that everybody has to be taken care about it. And last, very interesting, in down the line after 1 years, government support with the industry representation through the representation by the industry people. What the requirement. Now, it is an essential aspect for retailers, not only the owner of the retail market, but also about that people who are working in the retail industry need to understand requirement and how you communicate with the government. Government definitely will support because government need to be even our prime minister also suggests that the local promote local Atmanirbhar Bharat. So government also support. Now it is the responsibility of the retailers to provide a feedback to the government how government can support us through the representations. Even government can. Then third, fifth thing about it, distribution side, supply chain, supply to demand. Now, right now, supply chain is a disruption, very essential right now because before the competition was stopped and movement was stopped. Now is recession available, so we need to be identifying uninterrupted supply. I said first in a very my first that we are in a phase of now to next. The next that is there are stores that are working now. Retailers responsibility to provide all the supplies without interruption. People can get what they want, how they get, and that is very essential for the retailers to take the advantage of it. So and then in the next there are certain industries like fashions, apparel, jewelry. In that industries we need to be make some other kind of the support or other kind of the government support or inventory management we need because if you talk about a fashion, if you talk about apparels, then it is very the essential aspect which not be outdated. fashion is very quickly outdated. So how you manage, that is thinking pattern or thinking requirement from the side of retailers. And the last thing that is a issue, big key issues of retailers is flow of fund. Now, right now, very problem is that short-term liquidity and working capital management. So retailers need to be managed. There are a number of retail companies have started to use the short-term liquidity. How they do the short-term liquidity? That is their brainstorming exercise. But so many retailers are work on it and they are success also. In second phase, once the reopening fully fledged or slowly opening, how they do it. I said and earlier that about the discounting. So discounting can be one option to create a liquidity, or maybe some other kind of the to attract the customers, to providing some kind of the benefit to the customers, to provide a free delivery, to provide a home delivery in nearby area. So that will require. And I'm expecting that, and I'm analyzing the situations with that what the happens once the everything is going on open. And then very essential from the side of the people sentiment of the people is people are also fear if the delivery will come to my house and they have a corona affected, then what I can do. So that is also other challenges for the retailers in the next phase also. And in the beyond phase, they require some capital expenditure to plan for new stores, to plan for the new branches, maybe mini stores, maybe large stores. So that all some sort of these are the issues which we require very understanding. We require to be discussed. We need to be brainstorm it, and retailers will definitely survive. Definitely will do this. So if the retailers can think in a different ways using the critical thinking, diverse thinking, or a design thinking approach, then maybe it can be survived. But in right now, it is very difficult aspect. So come to the conclusions that industry will take at least 5 to 7 months to back on track as per the situation. Even that slowly releasing the aspect, but again the problem. Then in the current uncertainty, consumer behavior change, and that changes may become the permanent, and that the retailers may need to be develop their own strategy. So speedy and agility will be key lever of success, and retailers will need to adapt a faster approach, both in negative the crisis in the now, and plan for the next and beyond what can be possible in that particular situation. So retailers are need to think not on today. Yes, definitely need to think about that how we maintain the liquidity, short-term liquidity, but in next and beyond situation, huge opportunities available because have people are required need cannot be this retailers need to be satisfied with all the needs. Need may be change, or that change you need to be adapt. So every crisis is comes to the opportunity in the market. So thank you so much for this little talk on my given
देखा
time.
करो यहाँ मत देखो कि आप कैसे
Thank
दिख
you
रहे
so
हो,
much.
यहाँ देखो तो आपकी आंखें
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for sharing such
Yeah.
a valuable information with us today. Now, I would request Nafseen ma'am to take up the second topic. Miss Nafseen Mistry, she is the full-time approved faculty in commerce at MVM College, Andheri. She is a throughout merit holder in her academic credentials. She has been invited by many colleges of Mumbai as a resource person in various academic events. She is an excellent researcher in commerce, management, and accounting, and has written many articles and presented papers. Her PhD in accounting from University of Mumbai will soon be awarded, and she is holding MCom, MPhil, NET, SET, PGDFM, and pursuing ICWA. Ms. Nafseen Misri shall be covering the second topic, which is psychological impact of COVID-19 on the retailers. I would request ma'am to please take over. Nafseen ma'am, you can take over. Nafseen ma'am, please unmute yourself. Nafseen ma'am.
Where is she?
Nafseen ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
I hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you, ma'am, for inviting me for the webinar. At the onset itself, I would like to start with thanking the organizers, the support team of Devkiba Mohan Singh Ji Chauhan College of Commerce and College of Law. I would like to specially mention a thank for the chairperson of the trust, the principal of your college, and two coordinators who have been constantly coordinating with me, and that is Shobna ma'am and Seema Pillai ma'am, and made things possible for me to come up and present my talk into this webinar. I would also like to thank the participants for being a part of this webinar and being patient enough to listen to the speakers. My topic, which has been asked for me to present today, is psychological impact of COVID-19 on the retailers. So that is quite specific that I have to speak only about the psychological impact on the retailers. Wherein the things are very new a few months back, there are hardly any literature which was available into the books or maybe the papers which are being published. But what is quite evident is we going out for shopping to the retailers, and that is something observation has helped to prepare the matter which could be presented for the webinar. It has been seen that each one of us are moving outside and we are observing things. There is a little interaction which is possible from the retailers, and with the help of that, I would like to present the topic, a kind of case study which each one of us are seeing outside. When we talk about psychological impact on the retailers, the word retailer is itself a very broad concept which comprises of each person who is dealing with the consumer. It takes everything together, that is the organized retailers, that is mall culture, supermarket, coming back to the unorganized ones, which are small retailers, that is fruit sellers, vendors, small people who are hawkers or maybe with a small shop. If we see retailers, it comprises of both things. They are with essentials, with non-essentials. So, but taking retail sector together in one topic, if I talk about, retailers have something in common. And what we will be discussing for a few minutes from now in the webinar will be based on the commonalities which each retailer is facing in this phase. If I say about COVID-19, few terms which become very relevant to us are pandemic, shutdowns, lockdowns, mask, social distancing. Those are something which have gained some space into our mind. If I talk about how the lockdown dynamics are, lockdown in each phase have come with its own set of rules and regulations. And we were expected to abide by each rules and regulations. So was same with the retailers. Each phase has its own rules, its own norms, and these retailers were expected to follow. Starting first with shutdown, wherein even essentials for few days were not working, then the time wherein few hours were allocated and they were working for little hours. Then comes the second phase where the hours were extended. And the third phase, again, a little more extension on the number of hours for it being operational. And the fourth one, where little by little non-essentials were also given importance. But each phase, each retailer had a few challenges. And those challenges were majorly contributing to their psychological impact. If I talk about essential stores, few months back have faced challenges wherein they were allowed to remain open, but following all the rules and regulations which the government has laid down. They have to see through it that the each retailer is following social distancing. They have to look after the security of their own employees, at the same time look after the consumers which are stepping in, are with masks, are properly sanitize their hand. Each day before opening, they have to see that whether the things are sanitized or not. With all these challenges, they have to face challenges at the end of supply chain. How long, from where are they going to get the product? How fast is the stock going to move? How fast they are going to get the orders, whether if the demand will remain the same. Each thing has to be in their mind. Then comes the challenges for non-essential service providers, that the retailers. Non-essentials first were at standstill. They were not allowed to get the bread. Later on, lockdown 4 has made us to see a little movement in the non-essentials. When we say non-essentials, they were allowed to get operational in lockdown 4 slowly by online mode. Before that, their stocks were withheld with them. This phase wherein things are so uncertain for us, we don't know as how tomorrow will look like, what the future will bring to us. With all those surprises and uncertainty, this unpredictability started developing an anxiety among each one of us, including the retailer. The anxiety which kept prevailing made us curious about things, made us to think how long this lockdown is going to look like, how beyond the lockdown the life will look, how much will we be able to survive with the rules which are being put in place, how long we can see lockdown, how much can we look after our health, security of our employees who are coming to work. All this anxiety slowly started taking the shape of panic. Once, if a person is panicked, wherein he is unable to know how, when he will be called for work, as how long things will be going on the same pace, how the future endeavors will go around, this panic situation started developing negativity, and it will obviously affect the decision making skills of the retailers. Once that takes the panic situation take hold of our mental health, the psychological impact takes away the decision making skills, take away positivity from us. And soon the panic was seen amongst the employees. Employees were at crunch, not all the employees were called. They don't know when they will be called next, how much people will be retained, how many people will be taken back. Among illiterate class of unorganized retailers, we have seen majorly the migrants who were unaware, were unable to cast their own decision-making skill and know how things will be for them. And that uncertainty made them to migrate from the cities to their native areas. That again was somehow an impact of the panic which they created amongst themselves, the their pace where they started feeling depressed about this situation and they started moving. Obviously, these depression and stress has its own impact, and people will show responses to it. Each one of us may have been out and may have seen how the things are looking, and it's not same which we were enjoying few months back. Not only the retailer, it is the people who come for shopping too started feeling a little stress about this situation. They need to abide by that little changes. This stress and depression was so inevitable among these sectors that people started to understand, the corporate started to understand, and majorly retail sector started taking up sessions for their employees where they can explain them, develop that thinking again, develop that positivity so that they are able to take the things well again in place. For their well-being sessions were taken where they were back home, they were made to go for yoga sessions or counseling or training their mind how to be into that well place now. That was going on. And how people will respond to stress is when we get into stress, unlike retailers, they will have different responses. They may respond, they may see stress which are affecting their physical condition, maybe their mental health, their cognitive skill. Each thing will start getting affected. If I talk about stress, how it has started getting impacting onto the physical, if I say essentials, essentials were the sector which was continuously moving with less number of laborers, more work for those people who are going to offices. If I talk about non-essentials, was standstill. They were not allowed to go to work. Both condition to some extent will have some physical problems for the people. The stress started accumulating, and the physical problem which people started facing were pains, were aches, sleep disturbance, again, a problem on their health. If I talk about emotional or mental response to stress, was people start showing was the psychological impact was the first thing which comes to our mind was fear. Fear of how long will it take for the sectors to be normal again? How long will it take for the demand to move in the same condition? How long will it take for the things to normalize, the stock to move, the downtrend which has come in the revenues or the cash flow? How long will it take for them to recover? Everything started creating fear amongst the retailer. The productivity, the production which was a standstill, again created a fear. How long will they have to take this? And apart from the retailers, even consumers had a fear when they were moving out for shopping. A retailer has to see himself, the employees, and the consumer who are walking at their doorstep. And this fear will again start taking all negative consequences, wherein in negativity, you can see that people will start believing, people will start getting confused as to how things will look like. People start getting that negative impact of getting angry onto the thing, getting anxious of every next thing, whatever is happening. So that again starts curtailing. And when people are made to sit back home, they are not called, they are not made to work, again, that helps helplessness feeling has its own impact onto the mental health of the people. What was required was positivity was required for them to come out of this whole things. Once we are stressed, our mental health is affected. What happens next is behavioral changes we started seeing. Behavioral changes, if few I could name, people started seeing behavioral changes amongst the retailer. Some became more aggressive with their marketing skill. They were able to take the risk. Some became very conservative and thought beneficial to be safe and not going much and taking risk. Those again were a behavioral changes. Again, stress kept accumulating by the refusal of order, some by themselves because of non-availability of movement, and some because of government restrictions. They started with not moving of the goods and not delivering. Later, it came to a phase where orange and green zones were allowed to trade. Soon after that, we were allowed to trade in sectors which were only not contaminated zones. And soon we are seeing a little positive phase wherein we are allowed to open up, the retailers are allowed to trade. These behavioral changes were inevitable. Then comes the cognitive skill. If we are stressed, there's a psychology which is being stressed. The person will lack the cognitive skill. He is very susceptible to get confused or to get misunderstood by whatever is coming on his way. And once if we start getting confused or misunderstood, then
Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Hello, Nafseen, ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute yourself. You are on mute.
yeah, now I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay, so we'll come back, I guess, from cognitive skill. skill which is getting impacted because of psychology. I got mute on that point, so we'll start again from that point. So when we talk about cognitive skill, it majorly comprises of when people start getting, once they are in a stress situation, once they are depressed about things, obviously they start developing confusion about things. They're curious in knowing things, but the skill to understand is at the backbone. They This misunderstanding about things or getting confused will obviously affect their problem solving skill, and which is very crucial. A person in this phase wherein there is pandemic, where there is problem, needs to have a very wise mind to solve the issues. So that was required. If I talk holistically, looking social things together, stress to some extent was having its own impact onto the people socially, where we can see each other, retailers or maybe all other people, start blaming one another on every issue which was seen. As we are not having the skill to analyze the things well, we start blaming people in different names. We start depriving ourselves, isolating out of the fear, wherein we don't need to get isolated. We are a social being, we need to socialize, but that isolating ourselves started bringing negativity amongst people. What is the need of an hour which I can see with all the psychological impact? Our mental health is very important. We need to understand each thing has both the side, the positive and the negative side. It's on us, what are we taking? We need to be positive about the things. Maybe the things are closed down in a little while now, but it soon has a future to open up. We need to see that it may take a little time, maybe a month's time, or maybe a year's time, another one more month or a year, but things will normalize. We need to be positive about it. Once if the people started getting positivity about things, that psychological impact starts reducing. And what is first needed for any person's health is its sound psychology. Each one is fighting with the pandemic, each one is fighting with this lockdown or shutdown condition. We need to do a little bit of us and start spreading that positivity. Things will change. The labor force will be soon back on their place. Soon we will be working in the whole productivity which we were seeing ourselves prior to this pandemic. Soon we will see people coming up on the roads again, going on to the shopping again. Mall culture may come with a few changes which are for our securities, but it will change. As we can see in Unlock 1, odd and evens and the shops started opening. But as we can see on the news going on, people are not walking into the shop. There may be varied reason, they have fear in their mindset, or they're not walking in because of the crunch and their monetary things. But soon things will change. What is required for us is look after the well-being of each one of us around us. We need to be safe ourselves and remember that we look after the safety of the other people also. Retailers are at major risk of their health concern because they need to meet many people. We have to look forward of being sound by ourselves and looking after the safety of each person around us. At the conclusion, I can say there are many negative psychological impacts we can see. There are fear, helplessness, anxiety, stress, but there is nothing which couldn't be overcome. We need to overcome, and soon the scenario will be positive again for us. With this, I would like to wind up my talk. I would like to thanks again the organizers and the support team of the college.
Thank you so much, Nafseen ma'am, for sharing such a valuable information with us. I would request all the viewers, if they have any question, they can please put it in the chat box. The YouTube viewer also, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box, please. So it seems nobody has any questions, any queries. So now I would request Dr. Seema Pillai ma'am to please give a vote of thanks.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Seema Pillai, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Srimati Devkiba Chauhan, College of Commerce and Science, Silvassa, is here to propose the vote of thanks. As the saying goes, no duty is more important than that of returning thanks. I am very delighted to be given the duty of proposing the vote of thanks after the successful completion of our 7th national webinar. I would like to express my gratitude to our Honorable Chairman, Shri Fateh Singh Ji Chauhan sir, who has always been continuous source of inspiration for all of us. Thank you very much, sir, for motivating and supporting us for organizing this event. I would like to thank our Secretary, sir, Shri Devdas Shah, sir, and Treasurer, Shri Vishwesh Dave, sir, for their constant support. I would like to extend my thanks to our principal, Professor Dr. Ambadas Jadhav sir, for providing continuous guidance without which this event would not have been possible. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our academic admin head, Ms. Nehal Bhadgankar, who has immensely helped us with the technical aspects with which the event turned successful. On behalf of Srimati Devkiba Mohan Singh Ji Chauhan College, I would like to extend my thanks to our speakers for the day, Dr. Vijay Gandolia sir and Ms. Navseen Mistry ma'am, who shared their valuable knowledge. It was indeed very interesting and informative session. An event like this cannot be organized overnight. It requires meticulous planning and hard work. For this, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the faculties of the Department of Commerce and the whole Devkiba College Parivar who work day and night for making such events huge success. Finally, I would like to thank all the participants without whom the event would not have been possible. Thank you, participants, for joining with us today and hope you enjoyed the informative session. A big thanks to the Almighty God for giving us strength and support for conducting this event. Participants, kindly note the e-certificate will be generated within 5 working days to only those participants who have submitted the feedback form. So kindly request all the participants to submit the feedback form. Thank you all once again. I request the participants to leave the meeting.